All right, we're talking about something that a lot of manipulators, narcissists, especially like to use and deploy on people. It's a part of their deflecting, but it's usually centered around when you're trying to stress a point. You're trying to, you know, state something that pertains to you that they may have done, and they will invalidate you by spinning the issue around to make it about them. This happens very frequently, and it's a manipulative tactic to not hold themselves accountable, but to make it an equal thing, right? To make it, okay, well, it goes both ways type of thing. And when people when anyone tries to use this on you in a situation where you're addressing something that they did to you, and then they interject with uh, it's usually something like well, I can say the same over here, or like I said, it goes both ways. When someone is fully invested in making sure that they understand the issue to correct the problem, they leave themselves out of it at that present moment, right? And they address the issue at hand. People who do this, and this is specifically a tactic narcissists use a lot. Again, when that person says something like, it works both ways and stuff like that, they aren't, they're not at least listening to you at all. No, they're not hearing anything that you're saying to get an understanding of you in that current moment addressing a situation pertaining to you, where you're trying to get them to understand so that they can at least acknowledge and try and show that they're going to make whatever necessary changes that may need to be made, at least at that particular time. They're not going to do that. They're going to say, well, I could say the same about you, or something like that, right? Many of you probably have been in this situation. This is someone who's self-absorbed who does this. They're never, and I'm just telling you, you're wasting your time when you start to hear people who say that. You're wasting your time. Don't try to get them to see or understand anything. They're never going to. All right, especially many of you who are engaged with narcissists, and you're going back and forth, back and forth, and you're trying to stress a point that should be clearly obvious to them. Well, it is. They can see, but they can't. It's about not being accountable. It's not having ownership for whatever wrong they've caused or whatnot. No, they're gonna throw it right back. Right? They're gonna deflect, throw it right back, and make it about them as well. Because that's essentially what a person is doing when they use that tactic or say something like that to that nature. They're making it about them as well, right? They don't want to acknowledge for the moment, that instant, that it's about you right now. It's not about them. It's about you. They can't do that. See, this is the biggest thing where I always stress about whenever you're involved in anything. Make sure that the level of fairness in a situation is relatively high. If there's a low grade of fairness that you spot in something, you're in a bad situation that's going to get worse and worse over time. If a person cannot look outside of themselves to see the other perspective, they can't have empathy whatsoever. There is no empathy there. And it's not just narcissists, folks, that lack that empathy. When someone is self-absorbed or selfish in nature, the empathy is there's a very low level of empathy within those type of individuals, because they're going to be about self first, right? Which this comes with a lot of insecurity for people. People who are like that are typically very insecure people. They have to fight and jockey for position to always make it an equal thing. Because if they don't include themselves, then it's like you have the advantage. So in other words, if they were to admit a wrong, right, or agree, or hear you out and agree for that particular instance, right? We're not talking for everything. We're talking for that particular instance. If they were to hear you out and agree, they feel like they lose all of the situations that may have been something, and now it feels like they're guilty and at fault for everything. They can't itemize the situations. They'll generalize everything. And now it's like, oh, when you're telling them this, it's like you're faulting them for everything. They can't see to take accountability for one instance. No, it's now you're faulting them for everything. So they're going to fight you tooth and nail to not own up to it exclusively, where they take full ownership. They're going to include you as themselves as well. Right? When the situation at hand has nothing to do with what you did to them or anything, or instances where they had their gripes, right? They're going to always make sure that they never give you that full acknowledgement without including themselves. They're not going to take full accountability without including themselves as a part, like turning it around, right? This is, I over the years, and especially with, I've heard situations from clients and stuff that dealt with these type of situations. It's almost like these things work in like, it's like a pattern to these things with individuals who do these things. Like they all play from the same script. It's like there's a bigger overall type of, like, it's like a program that they're all running from, that they all operate from the same program or programming, and they behave, act, and do things in similar ways based off, the same thing. And the results also end the same. There's not much difference in the results. These are interactions, relationships, so forth, full of turmoil. And there's never no peace. There's always going to be arguments. It's because it's jockeying for a position, right? To admit wrong to you is giving you a one-up that they can't take. They can't take that part. So, yeah, that's a big thing that you'll find, especially with narcissists, though. You'll find that you'll encounter that a lot with those individuals. And There's not much you can do. You're not going to change their perception. You're not going to get them to see your point of view. It's just not going to work when you're in that situation trying to hold them accountable. They'll dance around it as much as possible and as much as they can, all to avoid, that finger being pointed at them one way for that particular instant, for that particular moment. Do yourself a favor. Save yourself the headache. Save yourself the energy. Don't even just let it be. Let it be and understand what you're dealing with. And then you have to make a business decision, a judgment decision, whatever you want to call it at the end of the day, to decide how this will look going into the future if you're dealing with a person that is that way. And do you want to actually be involved with something like that? Because I can guarantee you it'll never get better. It'll never change. Anyway, that's all I got to say for this video. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Have a good day. Talk to y'all soon.